Colorado just had one of its biggest recruiting weekends of the year, and we're going to break it all down with somebody who is a big part of it. We got 5-star EDGE Jake Kreul on the show joining us today, so tap in with us. Let's go. Squad.
Let's go, baby. Coming to you live. Live. Big show today.
Hell yeah.
Some would say show history. First 5-star show history.
Potentially. We love to hear that. We love making history. Let's get it.
Obviously, big recruiting weekend. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Multiple blue chippers on campus, but this guy was one of the higher ranked, if not the highest ranked guy there. That is 5-star EDGE Jake Kreul from EDGE Academy. What's up, man? Thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, what's going on? Thank you guys for having me. I'm looking forward to this a lot. It's going to be a blast.
Hell yeah, my boy. It's good to see you, bro. We've been talking about you on this show for a long time now, bro. Let's start with this past weekend, right?
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, you were in Boulder, Colorado for your official visit to Colorado here this past weekend, Jake, with the other Jake here just mentioned, a handful of blue chippers here this weekend. I guess your experience like, just kind of the visit as a whole, everybody you were able to interact with and be around. How would you kind of describe, this past weekend in Boulder and kind of how you came out of it?
Yeah, I think the word for it is electric. It definitely exceeded any type of expectation I had and kind of blew it out of the water. I got to go hang out with my teammates while I was there, Alex McPherson and London Merritt. Meet with Coach Dion for a little bit over an hour, kind of get to know the position coaches a lot more on a personal level, and take some really cool photos, which I think everyone has seen me post on my Instagram or Twitter. But yeah, it was an awesome visit. I really enjoyed it. Me and my dad both really enjoyed it.
Hey, bro, that one with you with the watcher, bro, over the eye, that was too hard.
That was fire, bro.
That was too hard for sure. You went crazy with that one.
Jake, obviously IMG has kind of built a pipeline to see you over the last few years. Starting with Jordan, Alex in London, like you mentioned. Just what has Colorado, how has that program kind of grown on you guys over at IMG over the last 2 seasons with Coach Prime and all that's going on?
Yeah, I think ever since you saw Jordan Seaton go there and Cash Cleveland go there, they both had a lot of success in their first year as freshmen, in which no matter what school you go to, that's super impressive. And now you see Alex McPherson and London Merritt go there as well. So it's starting to create a pipeline of IMG kids, which a lot of people will say that IMG kids are like transfer portal kids, just it's their first year because of how much experience they get playing on that national level. So I think them having that success is kind of what drew me to the program initially, right? I also think they play on an awesome stage, and that attracts someone with my personality and my traits. But definitely the initial X factor for me was kind of knowing that guys who go to Colorado from the situation I'm in can be ultra successful and definitely make an impact early.
Most definitely, man. That's huge. And we've seen that, obviously, the last couple of years. I think we're going to see that again here in 2025 with London and Alex for sure. You mentioned at the top, Jake, that you spent, maybe a little over an hour with Coach Prime. Obviously, a lot of people have, a lot to say and different opinions about, how Coach Prime is, kind of recruiting settings. But what was he kind of like, from your eyes and kind of those settings and kind of, those one-on-one intimate settings, that you, like you said, you spent over an hour with him?
It was a surreal moment. That's one way to say it. Getting to spend that much time talking with someone who's kind of legendary, a little bit like they're a Hall of Famer. You never would think that you'd be in the situation to have a sit-down talk with them for an hour. But he's exactly who you would think he is. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He's always going to keep it real with you. And I think a big message that I received while meeting with him was, it was an interview not for me interviewing him and trying to get to know him. He was interviewing me as well, and he was trying to get to know me to say, hey, does this kid get a green light? Does this kid get a red light? But he's gonna keep it real. He's gonna ask you the hard questions, make you sweat a little bit, because I mean, that's what football is, right? You're gonna get put in hard situations, and you have to be successful in those. But yeah, he's an awesome guy. Great coach. I love what he's doing with Colorado and everything, and how he sets the stage that all eyes are on you. And he told me, hey, that can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing, because every little mistake you make is on camera, and every big play you make is on camera. So it was an awesome, surreal experience to get to talk to him.
Definitely.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's a unique experience meeting Coach Prime and getting to talk to him. What about the other coaches, though? Was Coach Sapp there? Coach Hilo, did you get to talk to any other defensive coaches?
So I did not get to meet Coach Sapp or Coach Petco, but I was with Coach Hilo and Coach Punz a good majority of the visit. So, but like I got to meet with them probably for like 3 hours total of time, just watching ball and kind of them explaining how they would develop me and what their plan would be for me in the scheme. And they definitely they know what they're doing, right? Coach Hilo got to work with Aiden Hutchinson, if y'all have heard that name before, at Michigan.
Yep.
And I mean, he's an animal. He's a dog. And then Coach Pun, he's a kind of a disciple, or he worked with BT Jordan, who, if you haven't heard of BT Jordan in the pass rushing world, he is probably the GOAT of coaching pass rushing. He had like 8 first rounders this year. So they have the people on staff. They have the people with the pedigree and the resume to develop you and to put you in the best situations to win. And I kind of got to see that between my meetings, between getting to know them personally at dinner and everything. So that was my take on everything.
Jake, I'm curious. You mentioned Aiden Hutchinson right there, and that's funny that you mentioned his name, because as Jake knows this, I've comped you to Aiden Hutchinson in the past. I feel like your guys' game are very similar. I feel like you're a really super polished pass rusher with like real kind of rare explosion off the edge. Like I feel like right after Colorado offered you, I went and looked at some of like your highlights from like the Rivals camp, and you were just making tackles look absolutely silly. Laughing at them afterwards or not, just having fun out there. I'm curious, just from your perspective, like how you would describe your game, and like if there is somebody out there in the NFL, maybe in the college level, who you kind of think your game kind of resembles.
Yeah. Thank you. First of all, I love that comparison. I actually watched one of the recent podcasts where you did that comp, and I thought that was awesome. Right?
Go crazy.
He plays with his hair on fire. And he has such a polished and deep bag. But I think for me, my comparisons are, I like to get it all over, right? I take a bunch of different people with really, really good games, and I take what I think works best for me, and I put it in there, because when it comes to rushing off the edge, there's so many different body types, there's so many different techniques and ways to win, that it's going to be personalized to you. So I think like guys like Aiden Hutchinson, I'm really big on, and Max Crosby, I'm really big on how they use their hands, their hand fighting, and then secondly, their motor. Like they play with like their hair's on fire, and I think that has led to a lot of more production for them. Like if you look at some of the guys in the NFL, like they'll have insane sack seasons, but most of them are just off effort or like off motor plays.
Facts.
And then I think I try to take the bend of Von Miller, how he's able to get so low and move so fast. I think that's elite. And then Hassan Reddick is another guy I watch, just because, like, I mean, he's not a very big guy. He's definitely considered undersized, but he's been super productive in the NFL, and that's hard to do. So I think those are some guys that I kind of take comparisons to. And I think the last guy I've started to like watch a lot recently was Nick Bosa, because I think the way he gains ground out of his stance is unreal, and I think that's kind of what's helped him be so successful, is just like his speed off the edge and knowing how to get into tackles' grills. I think I try to take all those and combine it into mine to make like one beautiful art of pass rushing in a way, and that's my plan on everything. That's how I'm hoping to keep on developing as I go into college and hopefully the league in a few years.
You doing that, bro? You mentioned there at the end with Nicky Bosa's his get off, which is one of the best in the NFL. Your get off is elite too, bro, and I think that's part of the reason you've been so productive.
Jake, I mean, obviously I don't know, was it 7 total guys? There's a ton of blue chippers out in Boulder this last weekend. Just what was it like hanging out with the other guys? Obviously Breck and some IMG guys, you got to meet up with London and all those, but Felix, I'm forgetting all the other guys' names right now, but I mean, there were so many of them out there. What was that like? Just all you young guys out there.
Yeah, so Breck and me, that's like my guy, right? We go to school together. We basically live together because we're on campus all the time. But so that was my guy, kind of getting over to his home state. He's from Colorado. And then I would say the other two guys I was hanging out with the most on the visit was Deacon Schmidt and Gavin Mueller. I think that's how you
Nice.
say his last name. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we were all in the hotel together. We went over to Julian's house to hang out. We had a great time. Uh, I was trying to recruit those guys a little bit, to be honest, right? They're all great football players, seeing if they want to come down to Bradenton to ball. But kind of getting to know them, they have more in-depth experiences in Colorado because they've been there on visits more. So I kind of got their take on everything, and they had great things to say about it. So that kind of backed up what Colorado was trying to tell me and show me. So it was just awesome kind of get to see other recruits and meet other people who are going through the same process as you. Now there's not a lot of people who kind of can understand everything that you go through, but when you do meet those people, it's cool to talk about it.
Most definitely. I'm curious, Jake, what kind of London and Alex have kind of shared with you just about Colorado and their experiences so far as early enrollees, spending the last few months up here in Boulder as early enrollees. What have you kind of heard from them? What have they kind of told you about, like I said, their kind of first months on campus here in Boulder?
Yeah. They said there was a little bit of a transition with the strength, right? You're going against grown men, so that makes it a little bit harder. But they were very thankful of where they came from going to IMG. They think it made the transition so much easier. Just they were already away from home, and then the game speed, right? A lot of people when they talk about transitioning from high school to college, the biggest thing is game speed, being able to play at the speed. And thankfully, them being at IMG, they played against like all SEC offensive linemen, so they got a taste of what to be ready for when they went to college, and I think that's why you've kind of heard about so much early success from those two.
Mm-hmm.
They have been able to get in there, learn the scheme, and play faster, and that's probably one of the biggest things when it comes to coming off the edge. And I think they're going to shock the world this year. They're going to do a lot of great things as freshmen for Colorado, and I'm really excited to see their success and see how they can push forward and keep on like showing how the IMG pipeline is successful and why you want IMG guys.
Definitely.
Jake, you got a busy summer coming up. You just hit Colorado for your OV. You got a whole bunch of them at some of the biggest schools in college football. Just what are you looking for in your next school when you decide where you're going to go to college? What are you looking for, and how excited are you for what's coming up for you this summer?
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's going to be a blast. So I scheduled 5 official visits. I have 4 more. So first was Colorado. Then I have Ohio State, Florida, Texas, and Oklahoma. So those are going to be my next 4 official visits. But I think the biggest factor and the thing that sticks out to me when it comes to deciding a school is trust, right? I want to trust that, hey, when I come in your position room, when I come in your scheme, you guys are going to do everything you can to develop me as a person, develop me as a player, and no matter if shit hits the wall, you're gonna have my back and you're gonna help me stay stable. And I think like getting to go on these official visits, that's a big thing that you kind of get to see because you get to meet the players, get their take on things because they're not gonna lie to you, right? They're not gonna try to recruit you. They don't really care that much. So you kind of get that take, that vibe, and everything. So going forward, I think trust with the coaching staff is gonna be the biggest decision maker when it comes to my recruitment.
Most definitely. Jake, have you felt the love from Buff fans on Twitter and whatnot and social media when you post them the photos from your visit? Like, is it a little different from Buff Nation when they flood your mentions and whatnot?
Oh my gosh, I did not know Colorado had that many fans, right? I posted that photo of me with the watch. By the way, that was my dad's watch. I don't have a watch. But posted that photo and it was blowing up everywhere. I think it's at like 200,000 views on Twitter. And then I posted a TikTok of me in the weight room doing a pull-up with like the gear on.
Yeah.
That hit like 300,000 views as well. Like the Colorado fans, that fan base is so strong and they are so dedicated to winning. And I think with that behind what Coach Prime's doing, and like these next few years, they might shock the world going forward, and like actually they might make some waves in the college football like landscape.
You know what's up.
You know.
Hell yeah. I feel like that was just a taste too, bro. That's just a taste of what Buff Nation is really capable of, bro. That's what's up. I'm glad you were able to see that.
Last one for me, man. You came out here for that OV. Are we going to see you back out here for a game potentially this fall?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility. My kind of plan on everything is that I'm not going to commit till October because I think with all the schools recruiting me, so some of the time you kind of need to see how the season plays out and see how everyone's playing, and that kind of helps with everything. So I'm waiting to make a decision. I'm in no hurry, no rush to try to make a commitment or anything. So I'll definitely, these top schools that I've kind of laid out, I'm gonna be taking visits to their games this fall.
Love that, bro. I'm looking forward to seeing you when you get up here, my boy. Last question I got for you too. Give me your top 3 favorite artists, bro. Who you be listening to on the daily? Who you be having in your ears pre-game or during workouts or whatnot?
Oh, all right. So like I listen to all music, but I think recently, Zach Bryan,
Okay.
Zach Bryan, Nino Pade, if y'all know who that is, and then Ty Myers are kind of like the 3 guys I've been listening to a lot.
Interesting.
I think those are it's kind of all over the place, but those are the three most I've had on repeat recently.
Okay, I like that. I like that's a little combo. That's a little different. I like that for sure, my boy. Hey, Jake, it's been dope chopping it up with you, bro. Getting to know you, bro. This has been a blast, bro. We appreciate you joining us. We'll see you again real soon, and obviously we'll link up. When you get up here, for a game sometime here this fall.
Yeah, great to meet you,
Yes,
man. This was awesome. Best of luck with everything.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Appreciate
You too,
bro.
man.
See you.
Thank you. How about that?
Love that.
Let's talk about it on the other side of this break. Shout out to the homies over at Toyota. Jake Kreul's a 5-star, right?
Sure is.
I'd probably say Toyota is the closest thing to a 5-star vehicle out there. It's versatile. It's got everything, right? Everything you'd ever want out of a car. It's dependable, reliable. It ain't going to break down on you. And Toyota's got you covered. Even if the freak accident does happen, like it happened to Arca's car on the side of the road with us, they got you all covered and taken care of. And they got tons of options for you as well. Hybrids, SUVs, trucks. I don't even want to know what you're laughing at. Sports cars, all that good stuff. Also, Toyota is running a sweepstakes for the Nuggets. Massive Game 7 win. I mean,
huge.
What was the margin? 40-some points or something crazy?
Yeah.
Anyways, they're giving away tons of stuff, including a private suite experience for you and your friends, a flyaway adventure to see a Nuggets playoff game on the road, or a chance to drive away in an all-new epic 2025 Toyota 4Runner. Link is in the description. And drive into the playoffs with your Front Range Toyota stores. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Inglewood, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets and the official vehicle of DNVR.
And shout out to the squad over at Breckenridge Brewery, man. I need y'all to go check out Breck Brew's new West Coast style IPA. It's called the Ridge Runner. This double dry hop brew is inspired by the untamed beauty of Colorado's trails and creates notes of bright citrus and pine. Y'all already know that we love our Breck brews here at DNVR, and that Breckenridge Brewery is the official craft beer of DNVR. Breck Brew has a beer for any occasion, and there is no better way to watch a game than having some Breck Brew. Try out some of our new favorites like the Avalanche Amber Ale or the Miles City, or my personal favorite, the Fun Slinger. So go check out the beer locator at breckbrew.com to find a brew near you.
Alrighty, let's break down that interview.
Southside D, you don't know that. You don't know that for sure, my boy. You don't know that. You don't know what I know up here, man.
Okay, so the full list of guys who we had in Boulder. Of course, we had Jake Kreul. We'll get to that in just a second, but a reminder, Felix Ojo was there, 5-star tackle, 4-star running back KJ Edwards, 4-star athlete / two-way player, wide receiver DB Jalen Lott, Jace Matthews, who also plays wide receiver, Brett Kolojay, interior lineman out of IMG, and Deacon Schmidt, one of the top recruits out of Colorado. Jake Kreul was very impressive, man. Someone's getting a gem in that guy.
Yes. And again, this is those type of settings. There's like when you can confirm, like it's easy to tell, or not easy, but it's fairly easy to tell, like, oh, this dude can play. Mm-hmm. But that's not enough for a guy like Coach Prime.
Yep.
And I think it was particularly intriguing when Jake was like, and he realized that it's not just him, interviewing the staff.
Sure.
They were interviewing him.
Of course.
Especially Coach Prime, trying to see if, this is a red light or a green light type of guy that we want in our building. And if I had to guess, I would assume Jake Kreul passed that test with flying colors, because that is an impressive young man who not only is an absolute dog on the football field, but the type of guy that you want in your locker room, right? Mm-hmm. You ask him what he's looking for. He didn't say, I'm trying to get it to the next level, or I'm trying to,
play
get
right
paid.
away.
Right.
Yeah.
Bro said, I'm looking for trust.
Yep.
I'm looking for trust in my teammates and my coaching staff for when things inevitably go south in football, either during a game or, throughout an offseason or whatever. He just wants trust in the coaching staff to know that we're locked in. You know, we're in this together. And I think if that's truly what Jake Kreul is looking for, he's going to find that here in Boulder with Colorado.
Definitely. And I mean, he's watching all the guys out there in the NFL too.
Yeah.
Like I think that's something too, as like a player / recruit. Like you can find one guy who someone always tells you, oh, you remind me of this guy. And you kind of like hone in on that one guy, but being able to like grab from everyone. I mean, he mentioned
Everybody.
what, 5-6 names there?
5-6 dudes, yeah.
I mean, that's how you become great, is taking, you know, little chunks from everyone else to try and put it all together for yourself. But
it was a good list of dudes he was trying to pull from too. I mean, Hassan,
No
Reddick
joke, yeah.
pull, the Nicky Bosa
Nick
pull,
Bosa, Aiden.
Von Miller.
Hell yeah, that's my boy.
I know that turned you up.
That's my boy, bro.
That was what's up.
But yeah, man, it was just that was a great interview, and IMG kids are just different. You can tell and get it very quickly why Colorado, Coach Prime, the whole staff wants those type of guys in Boulder.
And again, he mentioned it there too. Breck, that's his boy.
Yeah.
College J, that's his boy. A Colorado kid, College J is. He got to come back to his, College J's home state. And to me, I mean, we have to remain to see what happens, but they seem like kind of a package duo, a package deal. Again, that's pure speculation. That's not something I know for sure. But
London and Alex kind of seem like that at some point, right?
Jordan and Cash kind of seemed like that
That's
at one
true.
point, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, if Breck is, filling this place and wants to come back home, and, our boy Jake Kreul feels like how it sounds like he feels about CU, seems like this could be the place.
I think he'll have opportunity too. You got some older guys in that edge room, right? I mean, it's led by Arden Walker. You just got some older guys who, I mean, it's just the natural matriculation of college football. But
I mean, that you're right. That's spot on with that position, because that is Coach Cliff Hill told us that was part of the reason why Alexander McPherson ended up becoming a Buff.
Yep.
Because remember, he was committed to Oklahoma State.
Ohio State. Or I'm sorry, did you say London
McPherson?
Merritt? Okay,
McPherson was Oklahoma State.
Yes, yes.
Merritt was Ohio State. But McPherson, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's London with Jake and Breck right there.
Yeah, 3 dogs. I mean, that backdrop is just beautiful.
Isn't
man.
it crazy, bro?
That doesn't even look real, dog. Here's Coach Cliff Hill. Breck on the left side of him. Our guy Alexander McPherson, London Merritt. That edge room is, like you said, is ripe for the taking. There's a lot of Arden Walker's a senior. You got a couple of seniors in that room. This could be a really young and talented edge group with guys who could play right away.
Yeah.
We're expecting London Merritt and Alexander McPherson to crack the rotation this year and be impact players. I would be on the same train, next year if Jake Kreul decides to come to Boulder.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, he mentioned, what Jordan and Cash did last year as true freshmen and how that kind of impacted London and Alex, obviously, right? And they talked about that too. But if London and Alex can go out there and they can make some plays and really make an impact as a true freshman, I mean, this IMG pipeline is cooking. I think.
Jake mentioned there at the end, he says he wants to commit around October because sometimes you got to see how his season goes. And I think that's very smart. But if we see by mid-October, and London got a couple sacks and Alexander in the rotation, making plays, I think that would bode well for his chances to slide to Boulder.
No doubt. He said it seemed like a strong possibility he'd be back for a game too. So
seemed that way.
Remember the name, Jake Kreul. We'll be mentioning him throughout the offseason and as we move into the season for game visits and all that. Just some buzz from the weekend. I mean, you saw some of the pictures there. It was obviously a crazy weekend. Seemed like everyone had a lot of fun. Coach Prime was obviously there. A bunch of the coaches. There's Coach Bartoloni with Gavin Mueller. I think that's Coach Zim as well.
Bro, Gavin Mueller?
That's crazy.
That young man looks unreal. Bro looks
That's
like
insane.
a created video game player. And again, this is somebody who has only been playing football for around a year.
Yeah.
The potential is completely untapped. Jake mentioned that this is one of his guys that he was with, Breck and Deacon Schmidt as well. Those 4 guys were really, hanging out a lot this weekend in the hotel and whatnot in Boulder.
Gavin, I mean, he posted that tweet. He said, OV in Boulder was better than I could ever imagine. Some words from Brett College. This is from On3. He said, what excites me is seeing my former teammates excel in the program, and the track CU is on is very exciting. Also, the opportunity to come back home to Boulder, which is 45 minutes away from my house, is exciting. What makes them a potential fit is already is being around and having close relationships with the guys in the locker room and also playing for Coach Prime. Who else? Obviously, Cliff was there. He tuned in. Breck said, big thanks to Coach Prime and all the staff at Colorado for a fantastic OV. Who else? I think Deacon Schmidt had something too. He mentioned something about being like a hometown hero and all that. So the Buffs are hot right now, man.
Hometown hero. I like the sound of that. I mean, this is just a great start to, this recruiting kind of season. And obviously there are some guys who are slated to come, high profile guys are slated to come this weekend as well.
Yep.
So we would expect some of these commitments to start rolling in, not super soon, but again, the start is off to a good one.
With that, actually, you just reminded me, our guy, Matt H., had a tweet about, Colorado has a strong track record with visits for the portal.
Right.
It's actually pretty strong for OVs for recruits as well. So this is from Matt Sco Buffs 22. Shout out, Matt. He says the Buffs have not had a ton of official visits the last 2 years, but they've been pretty good at closing on OVs in general. So in the class of 2024, they had 11 OVs. 5 of those 11 ended up signing. Last year for the 2025 class, Colorado had 18 OVs. 11 of them ended up signing. Put it together, that's 16 for 29. I mean, that's above 50%. That's a pretty damn good conversion rate just for, the volume of recruits who, we're just talking OVs here, but they a lot of guys come in throughout the season. Not everyone comes in to take an OV, but that conversion rate is strong. And as you mentioned, there's more coming up this weekend. Cedarian Morgan will be in town this weekend. 5-star wide receiver, the top recruit out of Alabama, the number 14 player in the class, and the number 3 wide receiver will be coming to town on his OV. I think he's no, he's got a couple more. So he's just starting on his cycle, actually. Colorado's the first one. Then he'll hit Georgia, Clemson, Florida, Auburn, and then Alabama. He is from Alabama. He did get a handful of Alabama and Auburn predictions at this point, but Colorado's going to get a chance on that OV. He wants to commit around July.
Ooh.
Next guy is Jordan Deck. He will also be on an OV this weekend. 2026 4-star safety out of Lone Star High School in Frisco, Texas, listed at 6'1.5", 190 pounds, 385th overall player, 31st ranked safety. He is coming this next weekend. After that, he's got OVs with UCLA, Michigan, Penn State, Ole Miss, and Baylor. And then we have another tight end. We've been talking a lot about the tight ends, obviously. It's a position that has needed some juice, frankly, the last 2 seasons, and it seems like Coach Bartoloni is part of the reason why the Buffs are hot on the recruiting trail right now. Julius Miles, what's going on, bro?
Sorry, bad day.
Julius Miles, 3-star tight end, 528th overall player, 88th ranked, 88th ranked wide receiver, but he's listed at tight end, 6'6", 210, Freeport High School in Freeport, Florida. Only a 3-star, but man, he's going to Vandy. He's going to Syracuse, Louisville, and Florida State. That's just a preview for this next weekend.
I love how this staff has been attacking the tight end position because that is a position of need. And again, I kind of look at it like an extension of the offensive line, where it's you're not going to really find, in my opinion, a ton of elite transfer tight ends. Sure, you're going to get a couple that pop up every cycle, but in terms of really developing that position, you got to do it through the high school ranks. And I think this staff has really made it a point to identify talented tight ends like a Gavin Mueller, who is still very much raw. Again, only been playing football for a year, but clearly has the potential to be a game changer at that position. Bringing in, this guy who we just mentioned, was
Julius Miles.
Julius Miles, a really another talented dude, a big fella, dude who can block and run and catch. So that position is a position that has to be targeted very hard in the high school recruiting ranks this year, next year, moving forward, because if we're following the tea leaves and the stuff this coaching staff says, they want to be a team that can run the football efficiently and effectively and consistently. And you need tight ends to do that. You need good running backs. You need protection up front. You need a good scheme. And tight ends are included in that. So I really like that this staff, again, has made it a point to recruit that position out of the high school ranks. And we'll see where it goes.
No doubt, man. it was always going to be a process, right? A multi-year thing. Travis and Shador kind of helped. They put some Band-Aids on a lot of things that Colorado had to improve on, but now's where the rubber really meets the road, and we see just how far this program has come in the last 2 years, not just with this season, but with what happens in this 2026 recruiting class.
No doubt.
All right, let's take our next break. Someone mentioned linebackers. We'll talk linebackers here on the other side. Man, shout out Game Time.
Yes.
The homies at Game Time, they just make it easy to go to whatever event you really want to, right? It was a poppin' Saturday out here in Colorado. Of course, the Nuggets with Game 7, and they're going to continue going. So if you want to hit the Nuggets, I mean, the Rockies are on a historic pace. I'll say that at Coors Field. They are. Yeah.
They're going crazy like that?
They're going crazy, bro. But I mean, you could just come hang out with us. I mean, we do some rooftop Fridays and all that stuff at Coors Field. Weather's getting a lot nicer too. We haven't really fully hit our summer swing yet.
This weekend's supposed to be nice though.
It's coming. So make sure you hit up our friends over at Game Time. Check out the Rockies and all that other stuff going on in your city. NBA playoffs, concert tickets, NHL. I mean, get ahead of schedule for football tickets as well. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
And shout out to an establishment that is very near and dear to my heart. Shout out to Raising Cane's, man. Y'all already know how I feel about Raising Cane's, man. I love me some Raising Cane's. And if you've ever had Raising Cane's,
5-star chicken finger establishment.
I mean, if I could get a 6th one in there, I'd give them 6 stars. You feel me? That's just how deeply I feel about Raising Cane's, man. I love Raising Cane's. And you can get flavor fast at Raising Cane's, from their hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, their crispy crinkle-cut fries, their buttery Texas toast, and the secret cane sauce, that is made in restaurant every single day. Are you hungry yet? I know my boy Jake already thinking about making him a little sandwich with the bread and the sauce.
Got to get that extra toast, bro.
We got to get extra toast. So dive into Flavor Flav's faves. What are you waiting for? It's Cane's o'clock. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Let's go, baby. Shout out to all the love in the comments. Appreciate you, Celtic. Hit a like button if you enjoyed the interview with Jake Kreul. We'll have some more from you, I'm sure, coming up this offseason.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, linebacker. Obviously, the portal was kind of put on the back burner this weekend with the big recruiting weekend. But the Buffs, they have been doing their thing. They offered Oklahoma State linebacker Jonathan Agumadu. He is from Dallas, Texas, went to McKinney High School. He was a 2024 3-star recruit out of, Texas. Redshirted this last season. So he's got all 4 years of eligibility, listed at 6'2", 200 pounds. Let's see. As a senior in high school, 37 tackles, 3 TFLs, 3 fumble recoveries, a blocked field goal, and a touchdown in 11 games. So a productive high school player just waiting for his opportunity in the college football field. And Colorado wants to give him that opportunity with the offer they sent him.
Interesting. Obviously, I think that they've been looking to add to that room. Coach Prime quite literally told us that he was looking for a linebacker or two. Have yet to get that in this spring portal.
Yep.
Obviously, have sent out some offers. Harrison Taggart was one of those guys. He ended up going to Cal. Jaden McDonald was one of those guys who got an offer. He ended up going to UCF here in the Big 12. So perhaps this young man, this true freshman pretty much, who was a true freshman this past year, right? Still has all 4 years of eligibility. Could potentially be a nice add to that room.
Just going through the portal listing here. So Amari Campbell's still in the portal. He was the UNC linebacker.
Yeah, that's a big dog in the portal right now, right?
Yep, he's ready to 4-star transfer. I think he's the only 4-star transfer left at linebacker in the portal. After that, Andrew Simpson is someone I've seen buzz from, particularly CU buzz from.
True.
I mean, I think Gucci's been posting about him.
Yeah, he is.
He's a 3-star from St. John Bosco. Was at Boise State before. Mohamed Torre is out of Rutgers. That's another one that's up there on the rankings. But yeah, so he's going to have to do some scouting, it seems, at a certain point.
Is that the position you want to see next added to from the portal, or is it running back for you? Or is it?
I think I'm kind of coming around on just Micah Dallin and DeKalen.
That's kind of where I'm at with it, bro.
I'm not angry at it. I'd love to get another back in there. I think. I mean, I do think there's a little bit of uneasiness only having 4 backs really that you can
and I think
into a game with.
Maybe partly that uneasiness is losing Brandon Hood, losing Isaiah Augusta, both of those guys from the room, and only adding one.
Yeah.
You know, when people probably thought that you probably had to add to that room regardless, and you end up coming out, you know, -1 net. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean,
be interesting.
Shoot, you saw it last year. Dallin got hurt in the Nebraska game.
That's the thing, bro.
Micah got hurt in the UCF game, and we were 5 games in at that point. Charlie got his opportunities. You know, he got kind of moved down the depth chart at that point as well. So you were kind of searching for answers already, you know, midway through October last year.
That's my only uneasiness with the running back room right now. It's not the talent in the room. It's the bodies, right?
Yes.
Because obviously the running back position is a position that takes a physical beating week in and week out. And obviously it would help if you could, you know, reduce some of those reps by having multiple guys involved. But still, that's just a position that's going to, you know, add up with injuries. So you would like to see, I would think, you know, 4 to 6 guys who you really believe in that could potentially play for you this year. And I think you're at 4. And I think Jack Crawford, who's on the screen right now, sends a good chat. It's true. Shout out to Jack, our guy Jack. Isaiah Harge and Draylon can also most definitely fill in at running back potentially. So those guys can't be discounted in the conversation either. But we'll see what they end up doing.
Yeah, and then, I mean, Shermer shot it down when I asked him earlier in spring football about Cam playing running back, but you still have that option, obviously, because that guy did everything in high school, and we know he can run the football. Also, while we're on the topic, too, because there's been some, like, Twitter discourse about this, about the worrying about the running back room.
Okay.
The Colorado Buffaloes instantly become a better running football team with Caden Salter just on the field.
Speak on it, bro. What you mean by that?
It's just facts. I mean, it's playing 11 on 11. We saw it so many times last year. NDSU, Baylor, you know, UCF tried to do it, but that's where a lot of teams thought they could take advantage of Colorado, was just playing the numbers game. So why not get back at them? I mean, if you have Caden out there, essentially you're kind of playing 11 on 10 too. Because if you're reading a guy, the ideal, you know, outcome of the play is he's just not even a factor, obviously.
Exactly.
So you have numbers in that regard. So if that happens, you just need a back who can, you know, take opportunity or take advantage of the opportunities given to them with Caden being on the field. I mean, you're going to have open lanes to run through just because Caden is on the field.
I completely agree with you, bro. And I'll just one up that just from the perspective of why this running game should be better, and not mentioning running backs, the offensive line. Adding a Zy Chrysler, adding an Xavier Hill, adding a Larry Johnson III, you know, 2 of those 3 guys that I just mentioned are 6'7", 340 plus pounds. And those are guys who have played a lot of college football, who are experienced, so who you're not just throwing into the fire willy-nilly. So you add in, you know, Salter's running ability, an improved run blocking offensive line. I think, you know, that will take care of at least a lot of the issues that plagued this running game last year, no matter who is, you know, toting the rock from the running back position. So
no doubt.
I know my dad, for one, is a little bit worried about the running back situation.
He's not
probably
alone.
A lot of Buffs fans are out there. But yeah, I think if the season started next week, I wouldn't be overly worried about that.
No.
And also because I think DeKalen Taylor is going to be a really good player as well.
I agree. Just sticking with recruiting at this point, our guy, Oscar Rios.
Yeah, he's been cooking, bro.
He has been cooking, man. He's coming for his OV in mid-June, I believe. Yeah, June 20th is when he is in town. But over this weekend, he's from California, right?
I think so.
LA?
I think so.
So they had a camp, an Under Armour Next camp out in LA over the weekend. And Oscar Rios wasn't just the best quarterback. He was rated the top overall performer by On3 from the weekend. I mean, all positions, everything. He was the guy out there.
MVP.
So yeah, that's exciting to see. And, you know, key too, I mean, we haven't talked about him as much lately. Colorado's got the last OV in his cycle this summer.
For sure.
You know, obviously Julian, you know, there's big things ahead for him, you know, and Caden this year as well. But this is what good programs do. They keep recruiting quarterbacks, bring them in. I mean, Jared Curtis is the top quarterback in the class, I think, is committing today, right? And it's Oregon and
Ohio State, I think.
Oh, is it? Either way, it's like, I mean, this is just what the good teams do. So,
period. And you mentioned there about getting Rios' last visit, and that's something I'm really curious about. And it's something I want to ask our guy Cliff Hill. Potentially might be on the show this week, but just get his perspective. Like, is that a real thing?
Yeah.
You know, scheduling the last visit or the first visit.
Yeah,
like, does that
matter?
hold any weight,
Sure.
or does it just get kind of scheduled randomly and it's just, you know, happenstance how the order of visits are? I'm curious to know if there is actually any, you know, validity to that, because we run with that narrative. I know I have personally.
yeah.
You're like, oh, they get the last visit. That can't be a bad thing. You know what I'm saying?
let me
So
see if Julian was the last visit.
I'd be interested to see, and I feel like he was. I feel like
think
Colorado
he
was
was.
Julian's last visit. So I'd be interested to kind of get some insight on that. But yeah, man, Oscar Rios is a dog, though, man. Again, you don't consistently perform at these type of camps at a high level unless you're one of them ones. And again, I think this is another dude who has untapped potential, like from a physical standpoint.
Oh,
He
course.
can get a lot bigger and stronger, and that would be scary. And you look at all these dudes, like they're recruiting, talking about the high school ranks. That's what you want to see. Like, I think of a Gavin Mueller, a Brett Kolage, even the Deacon Schmidt. Like, they look massive right now, but this recruiting staff is thinking of, what are they going to look like 2 years from now?
Yeah, get him with Swayze.
3 years from now with Swayze, you're going to have a problem on your hands. And like, those are the guys, the Jake Kreul, those guys that we talked about. Those are the guys that you bet on those traits, that they're going to be a really good, impactful college football player and beyond that.
No, you're spot on, man. Yeah, Julian did have his last OV with Colorado. And if we know, you know, that was a legendary weekend, obviously.
Sure was.
So we'll see. Last thing I've got, 247 Sports put out a list, bro.
Aren't they? They're always doing that.
Shout out to them for it. College football bowl projections, updated spring picks for the 2025 season. And so I booted up this article this morning, right?
Wait, what is this? Picks for bowls?
Early bowl projections,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
For all 41 bowl games. We're up to 41 bowl games now, by the way.
Wow.
I think that's including playoffs, so.
Okay.
Which is 11 games. Anyways, I pulled up this list, and I'm scrolling through, and I see TCU, I see Colorado State, I see BYU.
No way, bro.
I see UNC.
No way, bro.
I see USF and Georgia Tech.
There's no way you're telling me what you're trying to tell me right now.
Kansas. I see Utah. UCF even.
There's no way, bro.
You know who I don't see, Scotty? I see Nebraska. I see Arizona State. I don't see Colorado. They don't think this team is going to win 6 games.
Who's the author of this?
It's Brad Crawford. Shout out Brad Crawford, actually. He gives us a lot of summer content.
That man doesn't think this Colorado team is going to get to 6 wins.
Apparently not.
That's shocking. And really misinformed.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, just wrong. Just wrong. That's the receipt. I feel like that's the receipt that we're going to have to cash in on here in a handful of months.
I'll star the article for you. I got you.
Because that's insane. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
It's very fair and valid to say that. I don't believe this personally, but it's very fair, I think, and valid to say that this team might take a step back or is going to take a step back. Losing, obviously, Shador Sanders,
Absolutely,
losing Travis Hunter, losing the entire starting receiving core, you know, plus your leading sack guy on defense, plus your best interior defensive lineman. It's fair to say that this team isn't going to win 9 games again this year. It's completely unfair and wrong and misinformed to say that this team isn't going to at least get to 6 wins in the Big 12. Playing in the Big 12 with, you know, 3 non-conference games that
At home.
that you feel pretty good about at this point. So
You have 7 home games.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
I don't know. I think I said it earlier. You know, I think I said it right after the BYU game, but like, it's entirely possible for this team to win fewer games than last year, but be a better football team.
I think that is valid.
So
Certainly on the table.
And you know, with the Coach Prime extension and everything that offers, Julian's there. You know, Jordan's got another year. Like,
Yeah, right.
I'm not trying to say that the expectation and the standard shouldn't be to win the conference this season. That should always be the standard and the expectation. It's just you have a lot more runway now to build out a program as opposed to just counting on a season.
That's a good point, bro.
It's about the future at Colorado, moving forward as opposed to just this year. So
that's a good point. And I feel like people are going to have, that's going to be an adjustment for some people and some fans,
of course,
right?
Sure.
Because when you have Shedeur and Travis, like you're like win now this season, you know what I'm saying? And now with those guys gone, the objective is still to win and win a lot and win right now.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, you have a bit more runway because you have a true freshman quarterback, a 5-star. You have a young left tackle, who is going to be here in 2026 and potentially beyond. So that's a good point.
All right, let's get to the chat. Get your questions in right now.
One more thing, you see Joe Klatz, top 25. He just dropped his post-spring top 25.
Yeah, multiple people have, and I just skipped all right by them. But you can go ahead and tell people what you see.
Baylor, 24? It's interesting.
Bro, I've actually seen legit like NFL draft buzz for
Sawyer Robinson. So have
yeah.
I. So have I. And
BYU?
It's valid. It's valid. Where they got BYU at?
14?
14, 15, 16, 17, 4 Big 12 teams. BYU at 14, Arizona State at 15. Yeah, Kansas State at
Not
16.
Baylor, sorry.
Iowa State at 17. Those 4 teams are on the schedule though, right?
Mm-hmm.
BYU, Arizona State, Kansas State, Iowa State. Interesting. Auburn at 22. Who's their quarterback this year? Do you know?
Who was their quarterback last year?
I don't know. That's one like why are they looked as a top 20 team?
I don't know. I saw an article earlier today that had Auburn and Hugh Freeze on the hot seat going into 2025.
Oh, I believe that for sure.
Me too.
I believe that. He's
Penn
got
State
Penn
at
State.
number
That's
one
what I was
is
just
crazy.
People love Drew Aller, bro, or Allah or whatever.
It's just crazy how we have like, I don't know, collective brainwash when it comes to quarterbacks after we've literally watched them play for 2 years already.
It's crazy.
Like,
bro.
not saying he can't get better, but come on, man. I saw someone said that if Drew Aller was in this last draft, he'd go second overall to Cleveland.
That is insane. Illinois at 10 is interesting. They're returning a lot, I think, though. Florida at 30. People love DJ Lagway.
People are bought in on him, yep. Sellers, too, with South Carolina at 11.
True. He's getting a lot of draft buzz, too.
Yep.
It's
Don't
interesting.
sleep on Oklahoma this year. I think Oklahoma's going to be decent.
I'm with you, bro.
I like
I'm
what
with
they
you.
did in the portal.
I like Mateer,
Yep.
right? I think they're going to have a good receiving core. They got Jay Knott, right, at running back. Venables is going to have that defense at least, average in the conference, if not better than that. So yeah, I'm with you.
It's truly a make or break year for them because Venables was listed as the hot seat, and he did the whole classic.
Yeah,
I'm on the hot seat type of thing, which was I'm taking over defensive play calling duties now. So
and they went crazy in the portal this offseason too.
Yeah.
Speaking of Oklahoma, though, did you see Sawchuk committed?
Yeah, he went to
Florida State.
Yep. I don't think he was ever in on him.
It's crazy to think about, but
We'll see. Again, looking at this time last year, Dallin committed, but I don't think Isaiah was till later in the cycle, right? Or later in the summer.
I don't really remember.
I'll look it up right now. Get your questions and comments in the chat.
Yes, sir.
Isaiah committed on May 23rd. So, yeah.
Would be about, like 2 weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
All right, what do we got, Alyssa?
Chatsky, what's up?
To the Toyota chat we go. Ron says, guys, can you explain why CU wasn't ranked in the top 25 this season? They were.
This past year, you mean? Yeah, in 2024, they were.
If you're talking about this season, well, we kind of just dove into it.
Yeah.
People don't expect them to make a bowl game, apparently, so.
And there's nothing official out yet, like the AP poll, but
Right.
yeah, we're not expecting them to be on it. Preseason AP poll, I don't think.
Abolish the AP poll. Abolish all polls until mid-October.
Yes, I completely agree. Or at least until, I agree, bro.
They'll never do that.
No, because it drives clicks.
Yeah, just putting the number next to a team's name drives ratings, clicks, all that stuff, conversation.
For sure. I think the biggest thing that the reason it's a problem, though, especially in this playoff era, is because, once you're a top 10 team at any point in the season, even the preseason, that gets like tied with you.
Yeah.
You know, and the people
It's
are
anchor bias.
it is, right? Like you go to, again, when the committee's talking about this late in the season, they're trying to pick 12 teams who are going to be in the playoff. One of the things on a team when you're trying to decide this team or another team, like, well, they were, a preseason top 10 team.
Yeah.
That means nothing.
Yeah.
If they went out and, finished 9-3, 10-2, or had a bad last month of the season,
For sure.
the anchor bias is definitely true.
I mean, in the very rare circumstance where like a team totally falls on their face, like FSU last year, it corrects itself quickly. But even teams that hover on the 7-8 win mark are, hanging around the top 25. What's up, Eric? Jake, since you are a Michigan fan, thoughts on Sherrone Moore's 2-game suspension? Oh man, the NCAA. I don't know. It's all just fallout from the other bullshit from Harbaugh and whatever a couple years ago.
There was this is from the Stallions thing, right? This fallout from the Stallions thing. And then I see
Sign stealing.
Is this true where like they picked the 2 games Michigan did that he can be suspended for?
Well, okay, so I haven't looked into it yet. I don't know if this suspension came down from like the Big Ten or the NCAA.
No, I think this was Michigan. This was self-imposed.
Then yeah, of course they're gonna do this. They did this with Harbaugh.
I didn't even know you could do that. Like, yeah, we're gonna pick like they pick like week 2 and 3 where like they have like cupcakes pretty much.
Of course.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Well, this is why teams do this. Like ASU did the self-imposed bowl ban 2 years ago, even though it was Kenny's first year. No one expected them to be that good. But that's why teams do this. They try to get ahead of it so that when the punishment does come down, they can go, whoa, we're good here.
I mean, it's smart trying to get out ahead of it. We'll see if it works out for him.
You said it was game 3 and 4?
I think so. Or 2 and 3, something like that.
So I know Michigan doesn't really have a tough schedule, a daunting schedule this year.
Surprise.
Michigan actually scheduled. Oh, they got my Lobos. Okay, so they play the Lobos. They actually go to OU.
Yeah, it had to have been 3 and 4 then.
Central Michigan, but at Lincoln. I mean, not that Nebraska's good, but that's to sit your head coach for a road game is a choice.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That schedule ain't bad. Who has the crazy Oregon's schedule for this season is
no, we had misread that tweet. I know what you're talking about.
Did we?
They weren't actually. That was an Oregon fan posted that, but they were talking about. It was Notre Dame schedule they were talking about.
Oh, okay.
It was Notre Dame schedule. Okay. That has a interesting end to it, like the final month of the season.
Oh, okay.
Where they got like Pitt and Syracuse and like a couple other teams, where it's like debatable if it's actually tough, but
right. Demosthenes?
Sure.
Demosthenes G? What about that linebacker from Colorado State? Is he still in the portal? He was good. I need a name.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, he's the running back who visited. KJ Edwards did not commit, but Steve Wiltfong just published a piece, actually.
Yeah.
And a quote from KJ Edwards. RBU will be coming to see you shortly.
Damn, I didn't even see that.
How about that?
Sheesh. Sheesh. Bro, but like you can't say something like that and not commit, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
It's all a game, bro. People say whatever.
Crazy.
Though. But
he's a dog. This is dude we talked about on Friday, I believe.
Yeah.
4,000 career rushing yards in 3 seasons. Averages like 11 yards per carry for his career.
Yeah.
A burner, a track speed, dude is
he
unreal.
averaged 12.6 yards per carry last season.
Unreal. Down in Texas, too.
Yeah, KJ Edwards from Carthage High School in Carthage, Texas, 5'10", 180, 42nd overall player, 3rd ranked running back. He's scheduled to commit on August 2nd, so 3 months from now-ish. But that's a quote.
That's a hilarious
RBU will
comment.
be coming to see you shortly.
Yeah,
That got me fired up.
that's elite. This comment from Connor is hilarious.
Connor says, a Lobos alum who's a Michigan fan working for Colorado Media. Jake, you never cease to surprise. That's what happens when you grow up in a place like New Mexico, bro.
It's true.
You go to where you go to school and you're told what to root for because New Mexico football ain't doing nothing for you. Connor, again, what's up, man, by the way? How many more years will the biggest spenders be allowed to buy a team and dominate the NIL space? If this house settlement comes through, not very much longer. But who knows?
I feel like the powers that be will always be the powers that be.
I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying?
I
I
agree.
feel like Alabama and Ole Miss and Georgia, they gonna be them no matter what happens with this. But I think it's more about can the other that second, third tier of Power 4 football can catch up.
Yep. Joseph asks, what other team is the closest comparison to CU? That's an interesting question. First off, I don't think there is. You said closest, so obviously I think that's what you're getting at, but there really is no comparison. Don't go crazy with it, but UNC is getting a lot of like kind of prime-ish buzz, maybe for the wrong reasons, but in terms of like,
I get you, I hear you.
You know, like when that first off season when Coach Prime was here, and almost all the recruits and transfers just wanted to come in just to check it out at least. You know what I mean? Yeah. So from that regard, I don't know who else. I'm
not sure.
I mean, I can't even give you like a play style comp because I mean we have to see what we have on the field this year, and you know, the Shedeur and Travis era was unprecedented. No one's ever had that.
I know. Like again, I don't think there is any really good comparison, but like maybe like Iowa State last year, you know, where obviously the quarterback isn't the same, but they had explosive offense, really good receivers,
good defense,
good defense. That's kind of the really only one that comes to mind. But Colorado is truly a 101. How they go about doing everything, from recruiting the high school, from recruiting the portal to even I think their style on game day. I think is really kind of one of one. So I'm not sure. That's a good question though.
That's a great question actually. David
Butler is that's
Joseph again. Have you guys talked to Leftwich yet? Not yet. Well, I'm sure we'll all find out around the same time when he's headed in. Appreciate you, Connor.
Miami I can see Miami.
I was going to say even like Miami, like back in like, but like that's so hard. That's almost like comparing CU to Alabama from 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to make that comp, but like
that's what I said even last year. Like didn't they win just nine games last year? Or did they get to 10? Miami with Cam Ward. They were right around 9 or 10. You know?
Well, yeah, they were in the title game, right? Didn't SM or no? Who did
no?
SMU
Didn't
play?
They not make the ACC title game? Right.
I can't remember who SMU. Oh, the SMU played Clemson.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah, Miami's a decent one, I guess.
And low key, no shade on Cam Ward. I just thought about this, but he doesn't get any flack for them having the season that they had last year, like as a team. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we got 3 minutes left in the show. I think we're in a safe space.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, literally. Like, I had these.
They didn't
thoughts,
even play in the conference championship game, bro.
I had these thoughts during the season. It's like Cam Ward did some great things. He was a lot of fun to watch.
Yes, he was.
But a lot of times he was digging them out of a hole that he created.
For sure.
Like, I mean, picks early on. I mean, he's a fun player to watch. It's an exciting play style, but it can get a little sloppy at times. I mean, you can say the same things about Shedeur too if you want, but and you know, if you go watch Washington State Cam Ward,
I know.
Dude was running around trying to make a lot happen all the time.
I just think it's interesting. Like that's just not an era that gets talked about with him. You know, how that season ended when early on, where they're 6-7-0, where it's like this could be a national championship contender, and they don't even end up playing in their conference title game.
Where did he finish in the Heisman? Because he wasn't invited, obviously. So
he was. Cam was invited.
Oh,
he was a finalist.
Okay, so he was top 5 then.
Top 4. It was him, Dylan Gabriel, and Genty.
Okay. You're right.
So I don't know what he probably finished. He finished 3rd because Genty finished 2nd, and then Gabriel obviously finished 4th.
Yep, Stevie, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, I remember the Virginia Tech game was crazy.
The Cal game?
Yeah.
I remember the Cal game. He was out there doing crazy stuff and not in a good way.
For sure. Oh, David, I wanted to bring this up. Yeah, real quick. We only have a few minutes left, but Coach Pollock decided to speak out earlier today. Obviously, Shedeur, everyone's got to get their take in on Shedeur. But coming from the mouth of someone who is literally, you know, kind of helped mold him into the player he is today, gone through all the ups and downs with him in his college career.
Yeah.
Coach Pollock tweets out, "I was the first offensive coordinator that Shedeur Sanders had in college, and I had been with him throughout his college career. He has had multiple OCs in college. Not just multiple, coach. He's had a new OC every damn year. And has never had a problem learning a new system. Being prepared and executing at a high level. Stop the lies."
Period.
100%.
Shout out Coach Pollock. Standing on business.
Alrighty, chat. We're a little quick today. We'll make it up later in the week, though. It'll be fun. We're holding it down.
Squad, dynamic duo stuff. You feel me?
We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place. Go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.